Hello, welcome back to the Neighborhood Conversations, where we chat about amazing inclusion, ideas, strategic responsibilities. This is your boy Templeton Sawyer, your host, and we're here today talking about youth development. And youth development is actually something that's very important to me. It helps us to be engaged, it helps us to know the people who are connected with young people. And that's Keith and Charlene Tasco, and I'm so excited to invite them to this space today to talk about their roles, their responsibilities, their passion, and their desire. Before we do that, I like to check in with the amazing host, the co-host, I would say. Trying to mix up the roles here today. The amazing co-host, Young Hoon Choi. Man, what's going on? How are you?
Good, Templeton. Good as always. Just living my best summer times. We got like few weeks left for the summer, so I'm just trying to make the most out of that. Just getting myself out there, enjoying the sun, soaking up what we got left, and just staying busy as always.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Hoon. Summer is going by quickly. We have a barbecue tomorrow that's happening at
Oh,
Teamwork
I'm
Cooperative.
very
So I
excited.
think that I'll sum up our week with a nice barbecue, connecting with people and community and stuff like that. So that's like kind of an awesome thing that we get to actually collaborate with our staff and at teamwork and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm
But
looking
hey,
forward for it.
it's always good to talk about us, so what we're doing. But let's get into the conversation to talk about the main folks.
Right on, right on.
Charlene and Keith Tasco, it's a pleasure to have you both as our guests today. How are you both doing today?
Fantastic,
Awesome,
fantastic.
awesome. We're glad to be here.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. It's good to have you both here. It's good to hear you both of you collaborative in separate different or organizations, but doing similar work together. I call this an amazing um, couple duo, even though they do things separately. But they work together. They feed off like ideas together because they're passionate about helping young people. And after I got to meet both of them last year, I'm doing a youth focused community of practice. I saw their passion, their desire to connect with young people, and I'm pretty sure our organization sees great work in both of you. Hence why you're here today on this amazing neighborhood conversations. And so we're going to get into the conversation today. The first question that I have for both of you is tell us a bit about your role and how you are what you're doing in your career path. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. So I'm what you call a Nova Scotia Work School Liaison. So a really quick history about that. In 2018, myself and one other person in the province we engaged in a pilot program to work directly in two high schools, one in New Glasgow and one in the HRM area. As of today, we now have 19. We've built it over the past 5 years. I work in three major high schools in HRM, and I support youth with regard to career development. So that could be everything from career goal setting, exploration, job pieces. So it could be employability skills, resume building, networking, interviewing. And I help to connect youth with industry opportunities and help them to learn about the labor market as well. I could be doing workshops in the school or outside. I partner with libraries and community centers and things like that. So it's a lot of fun.
I am an African Nova Scotia student support worker. Um, my role I wear many hats. I mean, I am a liaison between the teachers and the students and admin and teachers, parents and teachers, parents and admin. So I do a lot of different things. And like Charlene, I try to kind of meet kids where they're at, and there's different supports out there for them. So I try to my best to connect them to the supports that they need. And as you said, Templeton earlier, that Charlene and I, yes, we work well together because we kind of feed off each other, right? So I take them on outings. We have guest speakers in. We sit down. We create groups to try to support one another. So it's a a lot of stuff going on. It was a lot of fun, a lot of challenges as well.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. To hear all the amazing work that you do together, and like I say, and I'm happy that you agree with me that you both collaboratively work together to strategically make the common goal of helping young people succeed. And to hear that you are community driven and community engaged is what makes us more passionate to move forward in this role. And we need more people like yourselves in the community to help the young people to understand where they want, but also being that little hope. I actually just sent out an email this morning or a while ago about being that little hope to people that we serve and stuff like that. And I feel like you both are that little hope to our young people, to helping them succeed and stuff like that. So that's really important. So I'll let Young Hong Joy go to the next question, but I just wanted to encourage you on that. Yeah, that's good. So good.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll get to the next question here. So, Charlene and Keith, you've both mentioned that you guys work closely with the youth and work with youth on a daily basis. So, in your opinion, why do you think, especially with your current role as a school liaison, why do you think supporting youth in that vision is important?
Well, for me personally, I always reflect back on my youth, and I like to try to be a person that youth can come to that trust me, and value what I can bring to them. And I like to make the connections to be that person that was not there for me when I was in high school. There was no such thing as a career practitioner, which is what I'm trained as, my profession. So, and there wasn't really a mentor either. Like, I didn't have anybody encouraging me, and I had a really tough time. I didn't know the breadth of career types that were out there, and I couldn't imagine myself beyond the realm of high school. So I am really, really passionate about making sure that any youth that I encounter know what's out there for them, and that they can start to vision themselves beyond their high school years.
For me, I was kind of the opposite. I had a few role models, a few mentors. I was the kid who hated school. Like, I didn't have support in the school, so I had learning challenges. And even though I had mentors and supports, they were more like coaches. Not really. I had maybe one teacher, but it was in like junior high, and I was doing pretty good in junior high, so it didn't mean anything. So as I got older, and sometimes I got into a little bit of mischief. I did things. So these are the same people that, allowed me to make mistakes, allowed me to mature, to grow into a young man, to take responsibility. So, I feel like even though I didn't complete high school in the beginning, I ended up having to go back. But I feel like without those supports, and I mean, my big influence for me was my mom, God rest her soul. But, I feel without those supports, like, maybe I'd have been in a different path. So, even I won an award not too long ago, and people are reaching out to me to say thank you or say congratulations, and I'm emailing back to say thank you to them because they were influential in my life. So the first thing is you need somebody that cares, and we try to be that person in the schools. Like, as soon as you walk through the doors, we're on you. We're going to say good morning to you, whether you want to say good morning to us or not. We're always going to say good morning to you. So, and we just try to be that. Like Charlene said, that person that they can come to and trust. And that's a big deal in the school. Like, if you can't trust somebody, I always say in the school, I don't care if it's only one person, but you got to trust somebody that you're able to go to that you feel is going to go to bat for you. So, and again, they're our future.
Wow.
Without them, we have nothing.
See?
Yeah.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Seeing the passion that you have, that's connecting young people together, bringing them to that safe space. Like, we talk about that trust, and it's amazing to hear both of your history, going from Charlene, you being observing from you as a youth, and observing yourself as you walk along that path of how you're bringing those knowledge and experiences, and then you keep bringing those experiences based on mentorship and ability of having people there to support you, that encouraged you to engage with other people. And that's what we need. Bringing those lived experiences to young people is very important, because it teaches them that, hey, we're on the same maybe a different age bracket, but we have similar history and similar way of bringing up. And I want to share my story in bringing that ability, which gives the young people to trust you more and to want to be around you more and relational. So that's really important, and I'm really happy to hear that from both of you. And I can see that it works in seeing that young people are connected. Just seeing that for sure in the community of practice space when they all were speaking to our youth serving service providers. So that's pretty awesome. So the next question that I have focuses on qualities as a youth worker or a person who's supporting young people. What qualities are important for you as you continue to supervise or be a part of the journey, I would say, for young people that you work with? Yeah.
So qualities that we have?
That we feel we should have in us to support the young people?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd say relatable, trustworthy, honest. They appreciate honesty. Being able to connect and at their level where they're at. And it's not a cookie cutter approach. You can't just think that because you can carry on in a certain way with one type of youth, there are so many diverse youth. You have to be able to know your audience in front of you and customize your approach to each one. So, you might have somebody who's very shy and withdrawn, all the way to somebody who's, a super athlete and makes really strong grades. And there's a lot of diverse youth that we work with from lots of different underrepresented populations, right? So you have to know a little bit about everybody and meet them where they're at and respect where they're at and really open your heart and your mind and listen very carefully.
For sure. Be true. I'm going to tell you right now, you can't fool these kids today, okay? These young people, I should say, not kids, young people. Okay, and if you're not genuine in your approach and everything you say, they're going to see right through you. Because I'll be honest with you, I brought in administrators, okay, to answer some questions just so my students could see through them. You understand what I'm saying? So, they know if you're honest or not, if you're true or not. So myself personally, when I say good morning to you, and if you don't say good morning to me, I want to make sure I say it twice to you so you know I'm talking to you. Now, on the second time, if you choose not to speak to me, that's okay. But at least you know I was speaking to you. And the next day, I'm going to do it again and again and again. And that's who I am, right? And that's what it takes. The young person looks at it and says, either he's crazy, okay, or this guy really cares, right? Either one. But even if they're crazy, they're curious. Why I'm so crazy? So, the first thing is you got to build a relationship with them. If there's no relationship, there's nothing. And it starts all with trust. That's it.
Definitely. Wow. That's really amazing. And see, Keith, I know you. I know that you're the one. Your heart on. You're the real deal. I call it the real deal. Like you definitely connect in a different way. And that's really amazing that you have that opportunity to build that relationship with the youth there and all that good stuff. And that's really important as we continue to connect with community in that way. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad.
I look forward to my family's security in the future. That's the main goal. as a father.
The empowerment from changing careers has really just made me want to get out of bed in the morning.
I'm looking forward to growing my business. So I want to hire people like I was hired. I want to give guys that chance.
Il me fera plaisir de continuer à travailler avec les immigrants francophones en Nouvelle-Écosse.
I am looking forward to the financial freedom that I never had before.
Yeah, so that's really great, Keith, that you got to share your passion and desire in those areas. And like I said, you're the real deal. You're the real deal, man. And I see that you are connected with young people in great ways. And so I want to go back to Hoon to ask the final question before we wrap this up. This is an amazing conversation, and we're definitely going to have you on, and we're definitely going to invite your young people on themselves to bring that lesson learned in those lesson connections as well, to help community understand why service providers and people who are serving youth is important. Yeah. So Hoon, go ahead, man.
Awesome, Templeton. Awesome. So the last question for you both, Charlene and Keith, as you both are two people that work closely with youth, who guides them through their difficult times and who helps them make, smart, informed decisions. As a parent figure for these students, what approach, tell me about your experience being a mentor and what approaches that has worked well for you.
That's kind of a fun one because I don't know that there's anybody else in the entire province anyway that we have a unique thing that we've got going on, right? Husband and wife, two different roles, but very complementary roles. And we represent a couple of different things, obviously for diversity's sake, female versus male. We have different perspectives, but we also, complement quite a bit. So, we often joke that we do kind of play like a ma and pa sometimes. We're at opposite ends of the school. Yeah. And so, some of the kids, some of the youth, Keith's right, they're not kids. When they go down and see him, they might turn around and come down the hall and see me right after, or vice versa. Because we kind of, we do the 1-2.
And I tell you what it is that when Charlene says it's like a mom and pa, like these are our children, okay? Yeah. So, you get mad with your children, you get mad with them. They get mad with you, right? Yeah. So what happens is they'll come down and they'll speak to me, and, we don't see eye to eye on certain things or something. We'll have a disagreement. They'll walk out. They don't want to talk to me no more. They go straight to Char, right? So they go to Charlene. They'll tell them, complain all about me, and, it is what it is, right? But she'll tell you 20 minutes later, they're back at my door.
Absolutely.
Right? So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's it's definitely a joint effort for sure. I mean.
And Keith is really I have to just say, I'm able to access, I think, so many more youth because of his role in the school. That may not buy into me by virtue of just how I look, right? Mm-hmm. So that's been a really important piece as well, because it helps with credibility, it helps with trust. But it's not just Black youth that he's able to connect with. I mean, the whole wing down in his area, he's got the learning center down there, and there's so many youth with disabilities who are high-fiving him every day of the week and adore him like I've never seen before. So, there's, and once they know one of us, they like to know the other one, and they're like, oh, wow, this is your wife. And then I get them, and talk to them because Keith is a school board person, where I am, that external person coming in, and I'm not there every day of the week. So it really, really helps for relationship building.
But I'll tell you this, when you say, what approaches, I'm going to tell you, I have many different approaches. So I could approach you softly. Mm-hmm. See, this is why Charlene says that I'm different, because there's nobody I see teachers and administrators say, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could say that, right?
Pause that, because this is going to be public. I just don't want you to walk into anything about saying about administrators or teachers.
No. All I'm saying is that they sometimes look at me and say, you know what? I wish I could do that. But the only reason I get away with the things that I get away with is because these kids trust me.
Yeah.
They believe me.
Yeah.
So everybody can't do the same things that I can do. It just doesn't work that way.
So in essence, each youth worker has to figure out what that formula is for each and every student. You can't just think that you can broad stroke it. Your personality has to adjust. Your ways of approach and your method for problem solving things has to adjust. And you got to be really adaptable and flexible.
Yeah, open-minded, because I'll be honest with you, I learn new things every day from these young people, Yeah, sometimes I say to them, thanks for allowing me to go on this ride with you, because, they don't need us. They want us.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, but I let them know that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's meeting them where they're at. It's simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really good. That's really good. That I call you both, Charlene and Keith, the White House, First Lady and President, a whole duo that y'all.
We've been nicknamed the dynamic duo, power couple, mother and father.
You go tell him what I got. You go tell her what I got. It's a good connection.
He's usually never the bad guy, right? It's always me.
I've got the softer approach for sure.
Young people are so important that they need more role models. They need more people to help serve them, to better understand them in a great way and in a great understanding. And what is being shared on this podcast today is a little bit of a taste of a recipe of what can happen when you are connected and making sure that your approach is relatable and your experience is shared, and also that you're making sure that you're mindful of that approach to bring forth. I always try to say that I'm still a youngin'. I put myself in that youth. I'm only 26. I'm still in my youth. I'm not outside of that. But it's good to have both you and Keith. Y'all still young. Y'all still got it. Y'all still there. Age ain't nothing but a number. I always try to say that. Age ain't nothing but a number. Y'all still youthful. And looking good and stuff like that.
Listen, there's video of us doing double Dutch one year in the school. So hey.
No joke. This is really good.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, hey, listen, and that's how we're gonna wrap it up with a good laugh, a good connection. As you continue to move forward, listening audience, make sure that you're supporting young people in different ways. Even if you're not in a youth serving position, you still have the ability to inspire young people and to make a change. And as we continue to move forward, let's do that. And that's where we're going to inspire you from the Neighborhood Conversations. We'll see you at the next episode.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
This podcast is funded by the Government of Nova Scotia.